Hello everyone, I hope all of you are doing well and I welcome you all on this YouTube channel UPSC Logi. This is me Rahul and today we are going to cover the Hindu analysis for your public administration optional for UPSC civil services and state PSC examination. And apart from public administration, I am also going to cover the ethics article that you can use in your general studies paper 4 under the UPSC CSE mains examination. So you can join the Telegram channel Pubedpedia. The link for the same is given in the description box, and you will be able to access the Pubedpedia sample copy, the Pubedpedia magazine, in which you will get the important current affairs articles of the Hindu, and the articles are not simple articles. You will get the kind of linking, the interlinking and all with respect to your public administration paper 1, the theories, the thinkers, the different angles of linking and all. So you will get that thing as well in the articles. You can basically join the Telegram group and channel, and you can see the Pubedpedia magazine over there, and it will make your life easier when it comes to public administration current affairs coverage. Okay, so let's get started without wasting a bit of time. The first important news article is given on your page number 1. So here you can see MK Stalin writes to CMs of different states and union territories against the cracker ban. So basically what you have to understand over here, that the chief minister of Tamil Nadu, he wrote against the cracker ban that is in place in different states like Haryana, Rajasthan, means the NCR, Delhi NCR region. There is the ban by different states on the cracker. So why MK Stalin is writing? Because this cracker production is you can say the Tamil Nadu is an important player when it comes to cracker production, and because of the blanket ban in the area of Delhi NCR, you can say the interest of the people who are involved in this cracker production are adversely affected, and that's why as a representative of those people of Tamil Nadu, he is writing to the different chief minister of Delhi NCR region. So the basic thing is that this is the idea of federalism, this is the idea of interstate relation, to be more precise. So you can use it when it comes to interstate relation, that how economy is the important parameter of interstate relation, or you can say how economy is the important parameter in today's India, or something like that. So you might get this in the financial administration point of view, or in the, you can say, union government, state government, the interlinking, the interrelation. So basically theoretical part, you must be knowing about the theoretical part. Different commissions are there, different committees are there, different angles are there, but you can add this angle as well in your answer, not as the primary point but as the secondary point. You can obviously use it when it comes to, you can say, answer writing of your public administration, or for that matter general studies paper 2. Apart from that, the another important article you will get on the page number 4. So here you will get this article, Shiromani Akali Dal Aam Aadmi Party hit out at center on BSF issue. What is this BSF issue? So basically what you have to understand, that recently the government of India, they come up with this idea that jurisdiction of BSF, here you can see the Ministry of Home Affairs decision to enhance the power of border security force to arrest, search and seize within 50 km from the international boundary in Punjab has created this problem among the political parties in the state. So basically, let's say this is the Punjab border with Pakistan, let's say India-Pakistan border in Punjab. So here, as you know, that border security force is there. So the jurisdiction of this border security force is enhanced to 50 km from this border. So here you can see 50 km. Earlier it was near the borderline, but 50 km, and you know 50 km is a big you can say length in terms of 50 kilometer, because if I give you this dimension itself, NCR, Delhi NCR, what is the meaning of Delhi NCR? 100 kilometer from Rajghat area. So this is something that was there in the newspaper of 13th of October 2021. So 100 kilometer from Rajghat area, it is known as Delhi NCR. So here what you have to understand, 50 kilometer is the, you can say, comparatively it is larger length as compared to the earlier scenarios. So that's why you know about the basics. In the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution, state list is there, and police, law and order, public order, these are the components of state list. Okay, state have the jurisdiction, but because of this decision, central governments, or you can say the border security force, will get this upper hand over the state local administration or state police or state law and order machinery. Okay, so ultimately you will be able to link it with the federalism as well, and the different stakeholders like Shiromani Akali Dal, Aam Aadmi Party, they are basically saying this thing, that this is against the spirit of federalism, because center is basically is going against the spirit of federalism, because ultimately the jurisdiction will, you can say, there will be the kind of conflict. Okay, so you can link it with the Mary Parker Follett when it comes to the conflict, and there should be the proper, you can say, proper analysis, proper, you can say, integration of the conflict. The different, as you know, that there are three ways by which we can resolve the conflict. One is the compromise, another is domination, and the third one is the integration. So there is a need of integration. Okay, so you can link it with the conflict, you can link it with the coordination, that we need proper coordination between different stakeholders when it comes to the administration, because otherwise this will create the problem for the people in general. Apart from that, the pros and cons of this issue can also be understandable, and you can basically understand pros. What are the pros of this decision? More better national security. Okay, this is the most important pro of this decision. But when it comes to cons, you can write the federalism aspect, and many issues are going on with respect to the federalism in the country. Different issues are going on, and we are covering these things on the regular basis. And at the end of the day, you can expect one question from the topic called federalism, or you can say strong majority in the center, or something like that. You can expect one question from this area in UPSC CSE 2021 itself, or in the 2022 itself, because the topic is very recurring. Okay, in the previous month, in the July itself, there was the article on principled federalism. I told you about this article on the 13th October 2021. So principled federalism, many ideas of federalism are there. We have covered all these things in the previous editions of Pavadpedia in the form of diagram as and all. Okay, cooperative federalism is going on, competitive federalism, collaborative federalism, asymmetric federalism. Okay, principled federalism, universal federalism. So different federalism are going on, and in UPSC CSE 2021 you can expect one question from this topic called federalism, because multiple issues are going on, be it NEET examination issue, the issue of central government versus Kerala government. When it comes to the CAG is there, CAG issue was also going on. Okay, there was one issue with respect to some you can say economic angle of Kerala government, so that is also there. So many issues are there. Delhi versus central government is a common issue that we used to cover on the day-to-day basis. Apart from that, this BSF issue is coming again. It is the new issue, we can say. Apart from that, many issues are going on, and basically one you can say the downgradation of the status of Jammu and Kashmir from state to UT, that is also a kind of you can say, because ultimately the central government has the power to amend the constitution, and they can change any they can change the status of any state. Okay, so many issues, many dimensions are going on with respect to the federalism. This is just a few things that I am able to recall. Many issues are going on, and you can read out those things. Apart from that, if you further scroll down, you will be able to reach the editorial page. Here you will get this tackling terror. So basically we have this general idea in our mind that when it comes to civil society, what are the different roles civil society plays. So we have this concept that they are voluntary organization and they work for the betterment of the people, of the life of the people. थोड़ा सा कुछ डोनेशन लेंगे, थोड़ा सा कुछ काम करेंगे, फूड में जाएंगे. ओके, सो यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड अक्षय पात्रा फाउंडेशन विच इज प्लेइंग एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल इन द मिड डे मील स्कीम एंड ऑल. सो वी हैव दिस डायमेंशन. ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट थोड़ा सा वॉच डॉग होंगे. वॉच डॉग की तरह दे विल यू कैन से मोबिलाइज द पीपल फॉर प्रोटेस्ट अगेंस्ट द गवर्नमेंट, और फॉर दैट मैटर दे विल एक्ट लाइक, and there are some issue, means different you can say dimensions are there. So basically if you try to remember, let me give you the trick. We have covered this thing in the July 2020 previous year, and this topic we have covered that how civil society can be linked with the public policy. When it comes to public policy formulation, we have black box model, we have different models like this group model, in which different groups are they are basically demanding something from the government, and government will give them something in the form of public policy. So in public policy formulation, civil society plays an important role. Apart from that, in terms of public policy implementation, there are models like action by actor model, where different stakeholders becomes important in the policy implementation. So in policy formulation, in policy implementation, even in policy monitoring, we have the role of civil society. So I have linked those things. I have linked this public policy, the civil society in different context, in thinkers and all. So you can basically refer to that copy. And apart from that, what you have to understand here what you have to understand, civil society plays an important role in MSEWA, MSEWAA. So M stands for mobilizer. So civil society will act as the mobilizer. You can give one example that yes, it is acting like a mobilizer. For example, Greenpeace, and for example different you can say different kind of we have different kind of civil societies that are mobilizing the people towards the different goals like human right, for environmental justice, and different things are going on. For S means service providing. So they act as a service provider as well. For example, different services are being provided by the civil societies. This is there. Apart from that, educator, E stands for educator. So they act like the educator as well. They will educate the public at large about the government policies, programs like about the MG Narega, about PM Kisan, about some paperwork with respect to different schemes. So they will act as the educator at the ground level. Then W means watchdog. So they will act as the watchdog as well, means watchdog of the public policy implementation, or you can say the watchdog against the corruptions and all. Okay, for example, we have different you can say like ADR and this Association for Democratic Reforms. Okay, they are very, you can say, very big name when it comes to the democratic reforms. Like 43% of the member of the parliament, they have the criminal charges against them. Who told this thing? This is the result of the survey done by ADR. Means they compile all these data with respect to the, you can say, realities of the democratic politics in the country. So Association for Democratic Reforms. So in a way they are the watchdog. Apart from that, you can see advocacy. So policy advocacy, like this should be done, okay. For example, Anna's Andolan, India against corruption, this was the policy advocacy. वो ऐसा नहीं कर रहे थे. That was not the kind of policy implementation they were doing. They were not acting like the watchdog, they were not acting like the service provider. But India against corruption was the NGO, was the civil society that was basically working for the that had worked for the advocacy, policy advocacy, कि there should be the lokpal. So this is policy advocacy. Apart from that, aggregator and some other roles are there, so you can just understand. But here what we are witnessing in this article, tackling terror, civil society must do their work. So basically the thing is that they can even play an important role when it comes to tackling terror, because terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir is nothing but the problem associated with the idea of trust deficit. Okay, so trust deficit is different issue altogether. OECD considered trust as one of the parameter of good governance. We have covered this thing in the previous editions of this newspaper analysis of the Hindu in these videos itself, that OECD का अलग से document है. In that document they consider trust as one of the pillar of good governance. Even in the farmer protest, there is the problem, and the problem not lies 100% problem does not lie in the theory of that of those 3 farm bill. The problem lies in the trust, because ultimately there is a trust deficit, and this is the problem. So trust is one important pillar of good governance, and here also with trust you can link this thing, civil society. I hope you are getting, everything is interrelated. Paper 1 good governance topic is there. In good governance you will get trust as one of the parameter of good governance. Other parameters are obviously the kind of rule of law, accountability, transparency, है ना. So different things were there, but trust is also there. So that trust you can link with the public policy can be linked with the civil society. Civil society is the part of accountability and control, as well as in the development administration. So basically things are interrelated. I hope you are getting, and just read this article, just have this dimension that civil societies are important because they are also important in tackling the terrorism, because ultimately they can help build trust in the society by mobilizing the people, and this is something that you should keep in your mind. I hope you are getting. Apart from that, we have important news article on the another page. So here you will see, aim to make India a military power. So basically this article is talking about the formation of 7 DPSUs. Okay, so DPSU means Defense Public Sector Undertaking. It is relevant for your public sector undertakings, as you know that PSUs are given in your public administration paper 2. So kindly do read this article, and those of you who are following the magazine, you have already seen this article. We have covered this article under the introduction as well. In introduction topic of your public administration paper 1, you will get this topic called new public management, and under new public management, under post NPM model per se, there is the you can say in post NPM, or for that matter in NPM itself, in public choice approach, we are talking about the minimum government and maximum governance. We are talking about the value for money. We are talking about the you can say the wastage, the wasteful expenditure should not be there. So all these things means privatization. Peter Drucker talks about the things that if something is not functioning good, don't waste your money in reviving that thing, and instead of wasting money or wasting the resources of the country, sell it. Okay, so means try to merge it, try to do these kind of things. So basically this is the philosophy, the major philosophy of new public management. This is the philosophy of new public management we are witnessing in the PSU section, and this is how you have to link, because NPM is given in the public administration paper 1 unit 1, but PSU is given in the public administration paper 2, and there is one unit called PSUs. But the questions, if you try to understand the trend in PSU, the question are you can say UPSC is asking question with respect to NPM, and NPM is something that we have covered in paper 1, and in NPM also you can link different thinkers, like Woodrow Wilson was talking about the privatization, means he was talking about not directly privatization, but he was saying that in public sector we have to focus on the economy, efficiency and effectiveness, and in order to bring that economy, efficiency and effectiveness, we should not differentiate public and private. Okay, so that kind of thing, Woodrow Wilson. And apart from that, Peter Drucker is the major thinker who talk about different ideas of managerialism and all. Okay, so different thinkers are there, and you can just try to understand. Even public choice approach in PCA we have different thinkers like this Anthony Downs, Gordon Tullock, and Vincent Ostrom, William Niskanen. All of them were talking about the idea of decentralization, debureaucratization. Okay, so these are the things. And apart from that, you can also mention the bureaucracy ke different you can say there are different problems with respect to bureaucracy, and those things can also be written when it comes to the issues in PSUs. I hope you are getting. And different economic survey content is also there, Chakravarti challenge and elephant, big elephant, white elephant, different syndromes, different keywords are there, so you can link those things. And apart from that, there is one important article called this former CEC flag security concern over e-voting. So you can link this thing with your public administration paper 2 under the heading called philosophical framework of the government. And apart from that, in the government administration you can use this thing, because ultimately this is the major issue that we are basically witnessing. So former CEC, he is flagging the security concerns over e-voting. So in the upcoming elections in Telangana State Election Commission will try or will do a kind of experiment with the e-voting. E-voting does not mean that you will be able to access the things on your mobile. There will be some centers where you can go. Means instead of going to a particular voting center, you can go to those e-voting center, and then you can e-vote. Then you can use the internet, and with the help of internet you can vote. And this is the experiment. But different former chief election commissioners are saying that this is a kind of you can say this is not good, and already there are concerns with respect to the this EVM, and e-voting is something where the concerns will be multiplied. So former CEC, so here you can see former CEC OP Rawat ji, he is saying this thing, and SY Qureshi, former chief election commissioner SY Qureshi, he was also saying the same kind of thing. So basically they are both of them are saying like this, and you can basically analyze, you should be aware about this thing, that something called e-voting is going on in the newspaper. I hope you are getting. Direct question is unlikely, but try to understand this thing, that this is important. Apart from that, if you just scroll further here, for the ethics paper, you can read this article, compassion cannot be forever, says Supreme Court. So basically Supreme Court in one judgment passes an order on the Kashmiri migrant, basically different Kashmiri migrants who are retired as of now, but they are staying in the government accommodation, and the government and the Supreme Court is saying that compassion cannot be forever. You are retired you are, let's say the court is saying that you are a Kashmiri migrant, you are retired, but why you are staying till now? Okay, you should do something else, because ultimately other people, means if you go out of that accommodation, other officers, other civil servants, or other, you can say, the government employees, they can use that accommodation. So ultimately compassion is important, but that compassion cannot be forever. So you can use this court judgment when it comes to ethics paper, when it comes to taking the decision. Let's say there is a question on decision making, so you can use this thing. Let's say compassion is there. Okay, let's say some case studies there where compassion, you are doing as a district magistrate, you have done this compassion, you have applied your compassion and something like that, and but the problem lies in the perpetuity thing. Okay, so that's why you can understand this thing, and you can link it with the compassion cannot be forever. You can quote this thing, that's as per even Supreme Court or something like that. You can quote, you can justify your stand, that even Supreme Court in the recent judgment says this thing, and that's why this is this is the established fact that compassion cannot be forever. So in that context, you can take the decision and you can justify your decision by using this Supreme Court judgment. I hope you are getting, and this is it for the day, and I hope you are getting all the important news articles. Just read these articles, just try to link the things, and just don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel and the Telegram group for more updates with respect to public administration and ethics. Thank you so much and have a nice day.